I used to do house sitting in college to make a little side money. It was usually easy work. Feed the pets, water the plants, make sure no one broke in. Most of the time I'd barely see the homeowners again. They'd just leave me a list and pay me when they got back. But last summer I got a gig that has messed me up in a way I still don't know how to explain. Even now, months later, I hesitate to write about it, because the more I think about it, the more I notice things in my day-to-day life that feel off, like whatever was in that house followed me back. The job came through a professor I was close with. He said a retired couple he knew were going on a trip to Europe for a month and didn't want to leave their Victorian house empty. They specifically wanted someone to stay there full-time, not just check in. They're a little old-fashioned, he told me. They just like to know someone's under the roof at night. At first, I thought I had lucked out. The house was enormous, the kind of old two-story, with towers and ornate woodwork. Creepy in an architectural way, sure, but beautiful. They told me to help myself to the kitchen, use the library, watch their massive flat-screen TV. I had the whole place to myself. The first couple of nights went fine. I explored the house, ate like a king, and sprawled out in the guest bedroom. But the longer I stayed, the more I noticed something odd: the mirrors. Every room had one, and not just small mirrors. The big old-fashioned kind, 6 feet tall with heavy frames, leaned against the walls. There was one in the dining room, 2 in the upstairs hallway, 1 on the landing of the staircase. Even the kitchen had a full-length mirror in it, which felt bizarre. I tried to ignore it, but on the 3rd night I saw something that still makes my skin crawl. I was walking down the hall toward the bathroom, and in the mirror on my left, I caught sight of someone standing directly behind me. I spun around, but no one was there. When I looked back at the mirror, the hallway was empty again. I laughed it off, told myself I was just spooked by the house. But from then on, things escalated. When I brushed my teeth, I'd see movement in the mirror behind me, like someone walking past the doorway. When I passed the dining room mirror, I could swear I'd see faces in the reflection, just for a split second, gone the moment. I looked straight at them. By the 5th night, I couldn't sleep. I kept the lights on in my room. Blanket pulled up to my chin like a kid. At around 3 a.m., I woke up to creaking floorboards in the hallway outside my room. I froze, heart pounding. The noise stopped directly outside my door. I thought maybe it was the house settling, but then I realized I could see faint movement across the room. The mirror opposite my bed was reflecting the hallway outside my door, and in that reflection, my door was opening. But in reality, my door stayed shut. I stared at the mirror, barely breathing, as the reflection showed something tall and thin step into the room. It wasn't me. It wasn't anyone I recognized. Its limbs were too long, its face blurred like a smear of static, and it was walking toward my bed. I did the only thing I could think to do. I yanked the blanket over my head and shut my eyes tight. My entire body was shaking, waiting for the sound of footsteps on the carpet, but none came. When I finally gathered the courage to peek out, the mirror just showed my room again, empty. That morning I packed my bag and left without telling the couple. I lied and said I had a family emergency. They were angry about me bailing early, but I didn't care. I couldn't stay another night in that house. I thought that was the end of it, but here's where it gets worse. Back at my dorm, things started happening again. Not big things at first, just wrongness. I'd glance at myself in the bathroom mirror and see my reflection blink a half-second too late. I'd pass a store window and swear my reflection had stopped walking while I kept moving. Once I caught myself smiling in a reflection when I knew damn well my face was neutral. It's gotten to the point where I avoid mirrors as much as possible. I cover the one in my bedroom, I shave using my phone camera, and I shower with the curtain pulled tight, so I don't have to look at the fogged up bathroom mirror. But I can't avoid them forever. Mirrors are everywhere. In stores, in elevators, in cars, and every so often I catch it again. That same tall figure in the corner of the glass, too blurred to make out, but too real to ignore. Last week, it was worse. I was brushing my teeth, trying not to look directly at the mirror. But I slipped up and glanced at my reflection, and it wasn't me staring back. The reflection smiled, wide and sharp, while my real face stayed still. Then slowly, it raised its hand and pressed its palm against the glass. I dropped my toothbrush and stumbled out of the bathroom. When I came back a few minutes later, the mirror was fogged over like I'd just taken a hot shower. In the condensation, there was a handprint, too large to be mine. I don't know what's in those mirrors. I don't know if it's something attached to that house, or if it's something that's always been there waiting. All I know is every day I'm starting to trust my reflection less and less, and one of these days I'm afraid it won't let me walk away.